Hello students, in today's video we will revise from the book Looking Around, chapter number 3, from tasting to digesting. In this video you will get some insightful knowledge plus a thorough revision of this chapter. We will go point after point according to the page number and few points which are not in your book, but we will discuss it and you will get to know few interesting things. So let's start without further ado. The first page of the chapter has a story about Jhumpa. Jhumpa ran into the kitchen and caught hold of her mother, saying, "Ma, I am not going to eat this bitter Karela. Give me gur, that is jaggery, and roti." Ma smiled and said, "You ate roti and sugar in the morning." Jhulan teased Jhumpa. "Don't you get bored of only one kind of taste?" Jhumpa replied quickly. "Do you get bored with licking imli, that is tamarind? I bet your mouth is watering just by hearing the word imli." "Sure, I love the sour imli, but I eat sweet and salty things too. I even eat Karela," said Jhulan and looked at her mother. They both laughed heartily. Jhulan said to Jhumpa, "Let's play a game. You close your eyes and open your mouth. I will put something to eat in your mouth. You have to tell what it is." Jhulan took a few drops of lemon juice in a spoon and put it in the Jhumpa's mouth. "Sour lemon," Jhumpa replied quickly. Jhulan then picked up a small piece of jaggery. Her mother suggested, "Crush it, otherwise she will know what it is." Jhulan crushed the jaggery, but Jhumpa easily guessed it. They played the game with different food items. Jhumpa could tell the fried fish even before tasting it. Jhulan said, "Now close your nose and tell me what this is." Jhumpa was confused. "It is a little bit bitter, a little salty, and somewhat sour." "Give me one more spoonful." Jhulan took another spoonful of the cooked Karela, uncovered Jhumpa's eyes and said, "Here it is, eat." Jhumpa laughed. "Yes, give me more." Now from this story what you get to know? That by closing our eyes we can still say that we are eating what kind of food, because we already know the taste of the food and we are having that knowledge from the taste buds that is in our tongue. Bitter, sour, sour, salty, sweet, all these kinds of tastes are there in our tongue. Taste buds are sensory organs that are founded on your tongue and allow you to experience tastes that are sweet, salty, sour and bitter. Now, without even eating anything, still you can say like what food item is there on your front, like sometimes by the smell of that food. So when you are told to eat a medicine or drink a medicine which is very bitter, it is usually advised to close your nose and then drink it, because nose also plays a very vital role in allowing your sensory organs to know that what kind of a smell or what kind of a taste it is. Similarly, the different tastes that we get because of our taste buds in the tongue. Now, why it is important to chew your food properly? It is usually said that children, when you are eating, you should chew your food very properly and then only you should gulp it. Why it is said? Because the simple act of chewing food in your mouth helps to break down larger particles of food into smaller particles. This helps to reduce stress on the esophagus and thereby helps the stomach to metabolize your food. When food is chewed thoroughly, you also release a lot of saliva which contains digestive enzymes. Now, when food goes through the esophagus, which is also known as the food pipe, when you chew food nicely, it is easier for the esophagus to pass the food to the stomach. Similarly, chewing the food also helps in digestion because it mixes with the saliva, which contains digestive enzymes. So the digestion part of a digestion starts from your mouth itself when the saliva get mixed with the food, and it is broken down into smaller particles. That's why it is helpful. Now, where do you think the food must be going after we put it in our mouth and swallow it? After you chew the food, you gulp it, and when you swallow the food, where does it go? This we already have talked about. Let's see where does it go. Here is a diagram of human digestive system. So when you eat food and gulp it from the mouth through the esophagus, it goes into the stomach, and the digestion starts. Partially the digestion starts from the mouth itself, but when it goes into the stomach, the actual digestion, like there is digestive juices which actually digest the food into more smaller particles. Liver also secretes bile juice, then it goes into the small intestine, then large intestine, and then it goes out from the rectum. Means the excretory particles goes out from the rectum. So when you are going to draw the digestive system, I suggest you to draw from the mouth to the rectum. It will be easier for you to make others understand also. Like from mouth the food enters, and from rectum the excretory particles from the food goes out. That's why from the mouth to rectum we usually draw the digestive system of human beings. So here we have the whole organs that are actually efficiently works in the digestion of food. Now come to the next point in your book, that is, how do you feel when you are very hungry? How would you describe it? Like if I feel hungry, I will say when I feel hungry I get really angry, or when I feel hungry I can eat an elephant also. Here are few kids who are saying I feel hungry, I am easily bored, or I have headache, or I cry. Even the animals also feel hunger. Like this dog is saying I cry too when I am hungry. Means all kinds of animals and human beings experience hunger. And why do we experience hunger? Because all the organs of our body is controlled by brain. So when the stomach is empty, it signals the brain through our nerve system that it is empty, and we feel the hunger inside of us, and we say we need food now to eat something. When your body needs energy and your body really gets excursion, and you feel like exhausted, you need food. Now would you be able to manage without drinking water for 2 days? No, we will not be able to manage without drinking water for 2 days. Now where do you think water that we drink goes? The first question I already have explained. Today we are just revising it. As you have remember that I had told you that without food we can able to survive for few days, but without drinking water we will not be able to survive for 2 days also. So it is very important to drink water to make our body hydrated and to make our blood flow. Now water travels through the esophagus, that is the food pipe. It is a small pipe which connects the mouth to the stomach. This is where the process of water absorption to the bloodstream begins. Here there is a digestive system diagram of human beings. From here again we can see that we drink water from the mouth, and then it goes through the esophagus to the stomach, where the process of water absorption to the bloodstream begins. Water is being absorbed from the stomach. It is the starting point from where the water is being absorbed. Later on it is also absorbed from the intestines also, and that's why it is very important to drink water, because it keeps the blood flow in a balance. That's why it is said that you should drink enough water daily to keep yourself hydrated, plus to keep yourself energized. Now let's come to the part glucose. I have already made you understand what is glucose. Now let's revise again. Glucose is a simple sugar with the molecular formula C6H12O6. This is the molecular formula of glucose. Remember it. It is very important. Glucose gives us energy. We also get glucose when we consume carbohydrates. Usually, if we consume sugar or carbohydrate or any other food item which have sugar in it, we usually take up glucose in a form of sugar. We are taking up glucose instead we don't know we are taking up glucose. So a part of sugar is present in the food, usually mostly the food we eat, and that contains glucose, carbohydrates in it, and that goes inside our body and breaks down as glucose, and which gives energy to our body. It is very important, because all the things that we do in our daily life needs energy to do. Even thinking also needs energy. Your brain also needs energy. Now when we are talking about glucose, there was a story about Neetu that you must remember. Neetu was very sick all day, she was vomiting, and she also had loose motion. Whatever she ate, she vomited. Her father gave her sugar and salt solution. By evening, Neetu was feeling weak and dizzy. When she got up to go to the doctor, she fainted. Her father had to carry her to the doctor. Now here it is the story of Neetu. She was very weak, she cannot eat anything. If she is eating, she is vomiting it. It means she haven't had eaten anything for a long time. So when there is no food inside her body, there is no energy. As I told you, without glucose your body cannot get any energy. So you need to get glucose from any other medium if you are not eating food. That's why she has gone to the doctor, and she actually fainted when she tried to get up. And what happens next you already know, I guess. Let's see. Her father carried her to the doctor. Her father had to carry her to the doctor. The doctor said that Neetu should get admitted in the hospital. She needs to be given a glucose drip. Hearing this, Neetu got confused. She knew that during the games period in school, the teachers sometimes gave them glucose to drink. But what was a glucose drip? Doctor Auntie explained, your stomach is upset, your body is not keeping any food and water in it, and it has become very weak. The glucose drip will give you some strength quickly, even without eating. So here Dr. Auntie explained Neetu that when she is not eating anything, then her body is not getting glucose from any food, and when her body is not getting glucose, it cannot make it into energy, and without energy you cannot do any work. That's why you need to have glucose, and for that glucose drip is being used. Now what is glucose drip we will understand in the next slide, but here you have to understand that you have seen that glucose is being given in schools also when there is any games period or sports day. So you know that glucose is given to increase your energy or stamina. And why it is given? Because it provides energy. So here is a picture of glucose drip that you can see on your screen. A glucose drip is a solution given to people who are suffering from low blood sugar or dehydration. When you cannot eat food or drink water or drink oral rehydration solution, then you are given this drip, glucose drip, through injections and through syringes. That's why it can get inside your bloodstream and inside the body, and it will give you proper nutrition, energy and water supply inside your blood. Now, what is the importance of glucose? Glucose, or commonly called sugar, is an important energy source that is needed by the cells and organs of our body. Glucose or sugar comes from the food we eat. Glucose, which is commonly known as the sugar also, it gives us energy. It doesn't mean that you will eat more and more sugar. No, students, do not eat anything in a very abundant way or in very large manner. That will not help your body, but that will actually give you few kinds of energy. Neetu was very sick. She was vomiting and had loose motion. Now, what is oral rehydration therapy? Now, ORT is a type of fluid replacement to prevent and treat dehydration. It also balances the sodium and potassium level in the body. Why we are talking about ORT? Because ORT or ORS, that is oral rehydration solution, is usually given in school. You have seen it in sports day where the athletes play and they need energy, and because of that the water, sugar and salt solution is being given to the athletes or to the people who are really working hard. Usually ORT is given in summer time because there is dehydration of the body because of loss of sweat, loss of running and loss of heat. That's why ORT, that is oral rehydration therapy, is that process where you are given the proper balance of potassium and sodium to maintain it in the body with the help of salt and sugar and water. Now come to the story that is in your page number 30, a stomach with a window. This is a very interesting story. In the poem, you read about a soldier called Martin. In 1822, he was 18 years old and was very healthy. When he was shot, he got seriously hurt. At that time, Dr. Beaumont was called to treat him. Dr. Beaumont cleaned the wound and put the dressing. After 1.5 years, the doctor found that Martin's wound had healed except for one thing. He had a big hole in his stomach. The hole was covered with a loose flap of skin, like the washer in the football. Press the skin and you could peep into the Martin's stomach. Not only that, the doctor could also take out food from the stomach by putting a tube in the hole. Dr. Beaumont felt he had found a treasure. Can you guess how much time he spent on doing different experiments on the stomach? 9 years. During this time, Martin grew up and got married. At that time, scientists did not know how food was digested. How does the liquid, that is the digestive juices in the stomach, help? Does it only help in making the food wet and soft, or does it also help in the digestion? Dr. Beaumont took some liquid juices out of the stomach. He wanted to see what would happen to a food item kept in a glass filled with it. Would it get digested on its own? For this he did an experiment. With the help of a tube, he took out some digestive juice from the stomach. At 8:30 a.m., he put 20 tiny pieces of boiled fish in the 10 millimeter of juice. He kept the glass at the same temperature as our stomach, about 30 degrees Celsius. When he checked, at 2 p.m. he found that the pieces of fish had dissolved. Dr. Beaumont tried this experiment with the different food items. He gave Martin the same food at the same time and compared how long it took for food to be digested in the glass and in Martin's stomach. He recorded his observation in a table. Now, in this story, we get to know that before, many years before, scientists did not have the idea, or the doctors did not have the idea, that how the food get digested is because it is in the stomach, or it's because of the digestive juices in the stomach. So, in this experiment, Dr. Beaumont found out that even if the digestive juices we keep it in a glass, it will work the same as it work inside the stomach. Now here we come for the topic of good food and good health. Dr. Aparna has two patients, Rashmi and Kailash. Dr. Aparna talked to them to find out more about them. Read what the doctor found. Here is Rashmi, who is 5-year-old, and here is Kailash, who is 7 years old. Rashmi, she look about 3-year-old. She has very thin arms and legs and pot belly, stomach like a balloon. She often falls sick. She always feels tired and cannot go to school regularly. She does not have the strength even to play. Now about food, she is lucky if she can get a little rice or one roti to eat in the whole day. So she is from a very poor background, that's why she cannot eat properly. Kailash, he is 7 years old. He looks older than his age. His body is fat and flabby. He has pain in his legs. He is not very active. He goes to school by bus and spends many hours watching TV. And food, he does not like to eat home cooked food like dal, rice, vegetables and roti. The only thing he finds tasty are chips and burgers, pizza and soft drinks from the market. So Kailash is from an affluent family and he has lots to eat, and he is not eating anything good, anything which is hygienic. He is eating all unhygienic food. That's why there is obesity and malnutrition. Obesity is overweight and malnutrition refers to when a person diet does not provide enough nutrient or the right balance of nutrient for optimal health. So in that story, Rashmi was malnutrition because she doesn't have enough food to eat. That's why her body was looking sick, she was thin and she used to look younger than her age. Malnutrition in India is a very big problem. One of the major causes for malnutrition in India is economic inequality. Due to the low social status of some population groups, their diet often lacks in both quality and quantity. Women who suffer malnutrition are less likely to have healthy babies. Malnutrition, when you do not get nutrients, when you do not get food in the proper way and optimal health, means for maximum health that you can have, like a proper healthy body and healthy mind. When you do not get the food in a proper way, you get malnutrition. Then there is again one story about the malnutrition and the economic inequality in our country. Gomti, the story of Gomti. She is 30 years old. Gomti works in the field of a rich farmer. For all her hard work, she gets paid very little, so little that she cannot even buy enough rice to feed her family. Some months she does not get any work at all. Then she has to eat leaves and roots from the jungle. Just imagine, she have to eat leaves and roots from the jungle. Gomti's children are weak with hunger and always sick. Few years ago her husband died of hunger. Most rice grows in Kalahandi district. Rice is even sent to other states from here. Many times the rice that keeps lying in the godown gets spoiled. In the same Kalahandi there are many poor people like Gomti. Why do people die of hunger in such a place? That place have rice production in abundance. Now if there is abundance in rice production, still people like Gomti and her children they are dying out of hunger. Why is it so? Because of the economic inequality. You will get to know more and more in your life. But what can you do to help such people? You can also actually help the people in need, the poor people. How can you help them? The poor and needy? You can take food to the elderly, help at food bank, or serve meals at the shelter, donate, donate like whatever you can donate, like maybe 5 rupees, maybe 50 rupees, or maybe 500 rupees, whatever you can donate. Okay, and you can clean out your closets, books and toys to give them to kids in needs. The things that you have which you are not using, that you can donate to needy poor children, like your toys, your books, your clothes, and anything you have. You can write a letter on the causes of children poverty and what we can do to end the hunger. You can also write about them. You can also make other people know, make other people aware of this situation, and you can give a hand of help to those who really need your help. Like this only we can make a change. So for this video, I hope you have understood and you have got an insight into this chapter and into the society. Thank you, students. Stay safe, study